Hello, friends. Thank you for joining me again today. We're here to do some drawing. All you need is a pencil or a pen or a stick or anything that you can write with. You don't need a computer. You don't need anything fancy. You can just do this with whatever you've got. And, I have not been eating as much because it's hard to get to the grocery store. I don't know about the rest of you, but getting to the grocery store is a big chore these days. Not shopping for groceries as much. We do have a lot of almonds in the house for some reason, and I was thinking about going on an all almond diet, but that's just nuts. Okay, why don't we do some drawing? Now, we're going to start with a you draw it, and this is when I draw, and you follow along with me. Okay, so grab that pencil, grab that pen, grab that crayon, grab that marker, and let's do this together. It's going to be a fun one today. We're going to start with a very long line, a very long line. Watch this. Now, if your line is not perfectly straight, you don't have to worry about that. But here we go. We're going to go all the way across. Look at this. That is a long one. And don't worry if you have to draw that line in a couple of steps. You could always do it like this. You could go draw, draw, draw. See, I'm breaking them apart a little bit. They're not perfect. That doesn't matter. We're not looking for perfection ever with these drawings. All right. Now, I can travel across this line and I can look at how long it is and I can say, well, that's about halfway across that line. And anybody know their math out there? What's half of a half? The answer is 1/4. And this is about 1/4 of the way. So about 1/4 of the way for the line, I'm going to do this. Ready? We're going to just draw a straight line up and at an angle. See this? That's about it. Okay. Next, we're going to do a C-curve line from that point down like that. And if you have any guesses about what we're drawing, you can always throw this in the chat and I can take a look. I'm always curious to know how early people can spot what they think maybe we're drawing. And sometimes the early guesses are kind of fun. Now I'm going to move away from the area I just drew over to about the halfway point. And then I'm going to come over back towards the tail a little bit. So I'm not quite halfway, but about here. Watch this. Ready? Boom. Look at that big line. Okay. Now, I'm going to erase a little bit here. One spot there and one spot there. And you do not have to do that. You can keep that line if you want. Doesn't really matter. All right. And now I'm going to do some bumps. Here comes one. Bump. Here comes another. Bump. 2 bumps. And then I'm going to carry that line straight out this way. All right. And then make 2 smaller bumps. Bump, bump, right next to each other. Now somebody's probably got a guess about what we're drawing. Let's see. A surfboard, a grasshopper, a fish in the water. Interesting guesses. I bet you're going to figure this out in just a second. All right, watch this. After that second bump, I want you to take that line and come straight down a little bit like that. Okay? And then I'm going to come back the other way with another straight line. Only this one is going to be at a different angle. Ready? I'm going to come down this way, down, and then stop. All right, let's see what we have here. Crocodile, good guess, yes. Could be a crocodile, could be an alligator. I'm not an expert on the difference between the two. I know there are lots of folks out there who are fans of animals and have a lot more knowledge than I do. You could probably tell me an alligator looks like this and a crocodile looks like that. Did I say crocodile? Hey, we can make up a new animal. How about a crocodile-alligator? I wonder what that would look like. All right, watch this C-curve. C-curve up and down. All right. And look here, a little line right there, like so. And then we're going to bring this down into the water. Okay. And now why don't we pop up here to where the eyes are and just do our eyes. We're going to do a circle in here and a circle in here. 1 and 2. And instead of doing circles on the inside, we're going to do this. We're going to add a line like that and a line like that. All right. And then for our nostrils, we'll do the same thing, just two little lines. 1, 2. Look how easy that is. Simple, right? Now, let's give this crocodile or alligator some teeth. But I want you to add some spacing when you do this. And let me show you what I mean. We'll say 1, 2. All right. And now watch this. These are going to be smaller. Zig, zag, zig. Stop. Now a little bit of space. And then zig, zag. All right. Same down here, but go zig, zag. And maybe 1 by the water. Doesn't really matter. But we want to have a little bit of space between those teeth. All righty. Okay, bouncing back this way towards the tail. Watch this. We're going to do more zigzags, but we're going to make them get larger as we go towards the water. So we're going to start here and go zig, zag, zig. Look how big they're getting. Zag, big. And then coming out of the water, big, big. But starting to get a little smaller as we go up this way. Just like that. Okay, a little bit of variation in the size of those zigzags or those triangles that we're tacking on to the back and the tail of this crocodile-alligator. All right, how about some texture on our friend here? And what do I mean by that? Well, we're going to draw a little bit of a bumpy sort of a texture like this. Ready? Bump, 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 and then bump, bump. Little bumpies. Then you can do a little bump by itself here and there. Bump, bump. All right? And maybe over here, bump, 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 bump. If you want to add them to the tail, why not? Bump, bump, bump. Maybe a bump right there. Let's look at our crocodile-alligator. Okay, now I want to show you a trick. For water, this water is quite still, right? But we don't want to just leave a single line there for our crocodile. And don't forget, you can always make that line longer. Just come along there and make it a little longer here, a little longer there if you want. Now watch this. I'm going to draw a line here. And then I'm going to draw a line over here like that. What I'm doing is I'm suggesting some movement, some directional movement in the water, just with these simple lines. Now I could do another one right here, a little one like that. And then maybe a longer one right here. Okay. Maybe a little one like that. See what that does to our water? Look at that. Pretty simple trick and a fun one too. All right, now I want to show you something with this crocodile. I want to give him a simple environment in which to live. And I'm not going to make it very detailed. All I have to do is this. Watch here. I'm going to do little bumpies like this. See that? It's kind of like the letter M a couple of times, right? And then I'll do another one maybe behind it like that. See how they're overlapping? This is a trick you can use, this overlapping, to give a sense that there's something in front of something else, in front of something else, in front of something else. Good trick to use. I'll do another one over here, another one over here, and then maybe one right here. Okay? Now we're getting somewhere. And now over here, another one like that. All right, now watch this. I'm going to, behind all of it, do some bigger bumps and then occasionally make them smaller. Big, small, big, big, medium, small, small, big, smallish, medium. What I'm doing here is creating a background. And now, watch this. A line, another line, like that. And we're sort of suggesting that there are some branches just coming out of these bushes or whatever these are, right? Here's another line like that. We could do one over here, a little longer, and then break that apart like that. okay? Maybe even add a third part like this. Look at that. And then a little one there. Maybe one up here. And now all I have to do is add some leaves to these like this. Here's one, there's another. Some don't have to have leaves at all, right? Totally up to you. You can design this however you want. Maybe you want it for these single lines here. Instead of doing leaves, you can do this. Look, I'm just going to draw lines like that coming from the center. I like that. I'll do another one here. Look at that. Not too difficult to add an environment, is it? Maybe some leaves over here on this one. Maybe this one gets a leaf. Maybe this gets a leaf. And maybe here, 1 and 2. And then I can just say there, that's it. Maybe it's a swampy area and there's a fly flying around. You want to draw a fly? Let me show you a nifty little trick. Just draw a squiggly line like that, or any kind of squiggly line. And then you do a little bow tie. Watch this. 1, 2. And it's like there's a fly flying around there in the swamp. And there you have a crocodile ready to go, swimming around, happy as can be. And you can create any kind of environment for you want. You know what you can do? You can give them a little personality. You want to give them a little hat? Sure, give them a little hat. Why not? Crocodile doesn't mind, right? This can be whatever you want. Alrighty, well, I think it's time for us to use a little magic shrinking powder and get this crocodile out of the way, or crocodile, whatever you want to call it. We'll shrink that down. Magical. And then off he goes here. And it's time for what is it? Now, this is when I draw something and you have to guess what it is. So pay close attention because I'm going to do this fast. Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to check the chat in just a moment to see what you think I'm drawing. Okay. Come around this way. Come around this way. And let's connect those like that. Not bad. All right. Are you watching? Here comes the big clue. Big clue coming. 1, 2. 1, 2. Is this getting too easy? Is this too obvious for all of you? All right, let me look in the chat. I wonder if I just made this way too simple for you all. I know you're very clever. Pig, cat, 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 bat, fox, bat, cat, raccoon. These are great answers. Well, but the thing is, if you've been watching this show for a while, you know that I'm a very tricky person and nothing I draw really looks exactly like what you think it is. So it's time for me to reveal what we're looking at. Sometimes what I like to do is shift the angle a little bit, shift our perspective. So why don't we just look at this drawing here and do this. We're going to turn our paper around just like that. And I want you to see what we're actually drawing, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, folks. Things are not always what they seem, are they? Things are not always what they seem. Funny, isn't it, how that happens? Because this is just an old sea dog, a sailor. Here he is. And he's got his nice sea coat on. And he's waiting to go out on a nice fishing expedition. So, yeah, it's funny, isn't it, how these things change? It did look like maybe a cat or a fox, but that just wasn't what it is. Isn't that an interesting thing to see? Alrighty, well, while you're studying that, I want you to start thinking about an animal and an activity, because I love to take requests from you where I draw an animal doing something interesting. We've done all kinds of things. We've done a unicorn on a snowboard before. We've done a skateboarding turtle. We've done a whale playing tennis. Very interesting ideas. So I'm going to be looking for your ideas in the chat. I hope you enjoyed the What Is It game. That's always a fun one for me. I love to try and fool you with that. And we're going to take this fellow right here. We're going to spin him around. There we go. And we're going to use that magic shrinking powder. Sprinkle that on there. And watch him go shrinky, shrinky, shrinky. And move him over here because I have to have room to draw for the animal and activity game. And so now I'm going to look at the chat and see what kind of requests we have coming in. Let's see. A gorilla reading a book while lifting weights. That's a very interesting one. Interesting. A gorilla reading. Okay. Chupacabra. I can't draw a chup. I've got to look at Chupacabra. I'm liking this gorilla one. I might have to get going on the gorilla one because it's a pretty neat idea, I have to say. A parrot skiing. T-Rex doing shadow puppets. Hold on to that idea. That's a good one. That's a good one. I might have to go with this this gorilla. I also love the idea of a lizard DJing. I don't know what a yellow spotted lizard is. It's getting a little specific. See what else we have. I'll just read these to you. A koala working out. That's pretty funny. Bugs Bunny. No, I can't draw any licensed characters. I think that would probably be against the rules. But I do love Bugs Bunny. And my grandma used to do a great Bugs Bunny voice, I have to tell you. A big rat eating a slice of pizza like the Bronx. I think we've seen that in real life, haven't we? All right, so now let's see here. T-Rex doing shadow puppets. Now, I kind of like that one too. I'm going to do the T-Rex. All right, here we go, folks. I don't think I've drawn a T-Rex on here before. Now, what I usually do is I draw a sketch, right? We use a nice light color, and we draw a sketch. And when I draw these sketches, I like to keep things loose, I like to draw big shapes first. So why don't we do that, okay? Now, this T-Rex is going to be doing shadow puppets, so I want him to be facing off to the side here. All right, here's our T-Rex. And he's going to have his little teeny tiny T-Rex arms out here doing some kind of a shadow puppety thing. Okay? There. This is a pretty funny idea, I must say. All right, thinking about the shape of a T-Rex body, big back legs, right? And then I'm going to have him have that tail. Let's move him over here, swooping out back this way. Okay. And he's going to be happy about whatever he's doing here. He's going to be happy with himself for whatever these shapes are that he's making. Do T-Rexes have their eyes like closer or further back? I think it's funnier when it's further back. I'm going to draw it there because it just looks funny to me. Sometimes for me, it's less important to be too accurate and more to do something funny. I know that shouldn't be the priority, but it just is for me. So what can I tell you? I want to get that leg out differently. Change with your sketches. You don't have to commit to stuff you don't like, right? That's the whole point of a sketch. And then here we'll have the shadow that he's making. Okay, so we're going to do like a bunny rabbit kind of a shadow. And he's projecting it on the cave wall. There he is. All right, well, there's our sketch. Now, what do? We knock it back a little bit. And I'm right on top of it. I just go for it with those action lines. Here we go. 1, 2. This is where I just have to be really confident. There we go. Give him that teeny tiny little eye up there. And he's so pleased with himself. Look at that face. He just thinks he's really funny. All right, get his neck down there. And now we got to have those little T-Rex arms. And And he's doing his best to do a little rabbit shape here. Nice big belly. Now I get one leg out this way. I think they have 3 talons. Folks, I saw so many dinosaur books when I was a kid. You'd think I'd remember this stuff better. But the thing is, I have to tell you, I'm at this age where there's only so much room left in my brain for information. And so I'm constantly just weeding stuff out. Is that a good thing? I'll tell you one thing, I sure remember a lot of commercials from the 1980s. TV commercials and all kinds of jingles. That's not the most useful thing to remember, but I remember it anyway. There we go. Okay, let's give some little lines here, like that. Maybe give him some lines on his tummy. A few scaly bits. Now I know they say that the T-Rexes had feathers, did they not? All this information is coming out. It's so interesting to me that they had feathers. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do the sort of straight up cartoony T-Rex we're all familiar with. And now here on the wall, we have our rabbit shadow. There we go. And some wall texture like that. Let's hide that sketch. Let's give him a little shadow on the ground so we can ground him, right? And look at that. There is our T-Rex. And he's so proud of himself that he can do this. Very useful survival skill back in those dinosaur days. Being able to do this. Really impress all your dinosaur buddies. Let's jump over to an art tip now before we wrap things up. I really want to show you something fun. Now here's something that people like to do a lot, which is when they're drawing superheroes or somebody who's doing something powerful or whatever, they want to draw fists. Well, guess what? I want to show you a simple formula for drawing a fist. Are you ready? Now, sometimes when you draw a square, okay, all you have to do is think of a square and now round out the sides. So imagine you're inflating them all in this direction, just a little bit. So those shallow C curves we sometimes draw, 1, 2, 3, and then stop there. Now travel up a little bit past halfway this way and watch this. I'm going to cut across and then cut down and then do this. Whoa. Remember, you can replay these anytime. Come back to these art tips if you want. 3, 4, 5, and look at that. There is your fist. Add the arm and you're good to go. So really simple, cartoony way to measure out a fist and draw it. I want you to give that a try and see what you think. It's really fun. Remember, all these episodes are archived for you to watch anytime. You can come back to the art tips and try these for yourself. All right. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for the great suggestions in the chat, as usual. Sorry I fooled you again with what is it, but that's just what I do sometimes. So don't hate me for it. Everybody have a good rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time, which is tomorrow, same time.